I realized that I've been standing in front of you saying words, and I never introduced myself, which is impolite at best. I'm Tyler. I work for ClickHouse, not a huge surprise, it's on the shirt. I'm based in the Netherlands, and my job is to talk about the software that other people build. My job is also, as Alexei will tell you, to spend tokens, which I do at a frightening clip. I have a very fun project called Cold Run. If you're interested in it, talk to me about it. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about open source. We put this slide up yesterday and we said 10 years of open source, and we mentioned it in passing. I want to lean into it a bit today. There's so many analogies for what open source is. The cathedral and the bazaar, the big tent. I worked for a company for many years who uses the phrase protect and contribute. And those are interesting analogies, but I want to propose a new one. Stained glass. Bear with me here. It's going to look a bit like art history for a minute, but there is indeed a point. Stained glass is a picture of something that people have built over thousands of years without collapsing that into a single hero story. Light, lead, many pieces. Small shards of glass arrive, cut to size, and they are placed into lead channels that are handcrafted, and then they are joined together, bound by stone, and depending on where you stand, you either see a beautiful image, or if you're outside, you see the lattice work, the plumbing, the CI/CD, what's holding the whole piece together. Public data sets are the same way. What you infer, what you understand, depends on your point of view. This is where we began crafting and creating, and then we expanded into many hands, creating public light. One of the first things that humans ever did was paint pictures on a wall in a cave. A spear, a boar. Were they hunting? Were they teaching? Were they explaining how they consume food? We're not sure, but pieces like this outlive the creators. Yesterday it was mentioned that perhaps serial entrepreneur is a bad label because it means that you've sold many times and not built something for perpetuity. This was built for perpetuity by thousands of craftsmen. And it was built specifically to tell stories. The stories of how we as humans understand each other, but to tell stories to those who couldn't consume those stories in Latin. The church became the center of artistic merit for many, many years. But what carries forward is this. This was collective work. This was work done in community, done by specialists who had a specific capability, done by artisans who guarded the secret of how they made that blue that we still don't necessarily understand. And then Tiffany arrives. And Tiffany takes the artistic craft and it brings it to manufacturing. And now we have the ability to move from the nave into the palace, into the town hall, into the industrial century. Later revivals, the Gothic revival, arts and crafts. It was so interesting to hear Lucas yesterday talk about the revivals that we have gone through, the revolutions, when you think of that in the context of the art, of the software that we create jointly in the room. Tiffany treated stained glass like material science. That's closer to how we build software today, but it's still a window that's read from a distance and it survives the storm. Many of you remember April of 2019. The spire came down on live television. The nave of the church filled with smoke, and for a few hours, it looked like 8 centuries would end in a single night. It didn't. The Rose window was reconstructed. I just visited it about a month and a half ago. We had to teach ourselves again how to create the art that was there. Much of the glass survived. Much of the infrastructure, the plumbing, the lead, the stone surround was recreated, but this is the lesson. Repair is not failure. It is inevitable, and it is a feature. It's how a thing survives long enough to matter. Open source is a mosaic, not a mural. It is granular, and with your eye, as you inspect, you can still find the individual contribution. You can still find the cut. You can still define the artistry of the pull request that contributed a feature. It is a window, not a wallpaper. We see ourselves in it. We see others through it. There are many cuts and one aperture. Without these, it's just pretty geometry. Let me give you an example. This is one that's near and dear to my heart. Memorial Sloan Kettering. I don't know if you're familiar with this project, cBioPortal. cBioPortal started at MSK in 2011, and it was spread to institutions worldwide. There's hundreds of thousands of patients' records, billions of data points, and the bottleneck was never missing data. It was waiting on the database. So cBioPortal actually migrated this to ClickHouse. And they moved all of their heavy filtering into SQL instead of in the web app and trying to pull all the results into the app, and the portal was about 10 times faster. Cancer research became 10 times faster. And then recently, they added to the beautiful mosaic that they had created by adding chat. The same data, the same interface, a new view. Not replacing what they had created, but enabling others to consume the data that had been created. These artisans built on the work done by the community. As I thought about this, I thought, is it true? And so I asked myself, and I used tokens to say, can ClickHouse read ClickHouse? Which seems recursive and introspective, but now I was like, I want to query the window that we've created. Because at the end of the day, ClickHouse is a community, and ClickHouse is a database that you can query, so maybe we should put the two together. In his keynote yesterday, Alexei said, who likes GitHub stars? I don't. Who likes GitHub stars? I do. Mostly because I get asked about them. It is an arbitrary vanity metric, but it is an interesting way to understand growth. They show me if a project is popular. We have 47,500 stars. That's not enough. Atom, star, join, engage. It is interesting to see growth when normalized to others. What I'm about to show you is this. So I ingested the Git raw log for all of ClickHouse, the ClickHouse repository, into a ClickHouse cloud cluster. I actually used ClickHouse Cuddle in order to do it so that I didn't have to think about it. And then I was like, give me a month of data. And I started to look at what are the ways that I can begin to understand our community through data? And the important one for me was this. Each step on this curve that we showed that goes through the end of 2025 is the first appearance. It's an author, it's an artisan, maybe they're contributing a feature, maybe they're adding lead via plumbing. It's an author who crossed into this repository's history for the first time, and then I just stacked them. These are you and me, contributing our skill, contributing to something bigger than us, contributing to something that will survive. But 1 month last month, in fact, looks a little bit like this. This is the same repository, it's just a different source. There are about 11,000 public events on ClickHouse. Comments first, people engaging, pushes and pull requests, reviews, new issues, one repo, 1 month. Not all of GitHub, that's participation. If you do want to look at all of GitHub, check out our demo repository. There's a lot of fun data to play with. GitHub actually uses a single counter. A single counter for both issues and pull requests. On the 19th of March of this year, we crossed 100,000 items. Bug reports, feature requests, proposed changes, employees, outside contributors, all of us on the same path, on the same staircase, working towards creating the same thing. A high issue count is not a problem. A high issue count is a sign of engagement. For context, MySQL is around 120,000 issues combined. LLVM is around 187,000. 70% of those issues are closed. Postgres is in a mailing list, which is great if you like arguing with public archives. It is difficult if what you want to do is try and drive this number, so I gave up. We're at 83% of all of the issues resolved, and 99% of all pull requests are closed. I've said contributors like 20 times. I say contributors probably 500 times a day. Why do I say contributors? You might be familiar with the system tables in ClickHouse. When you look at system star, most of the tables tell you about the machine, right? Part settings, housekeeping, logs. System.contributors tells you about people. Their names as rows. Why? This is part of the reason that 4.5 years ago I joined ClickHouse. I watched a video from Alexei shortly after the open source when he was on stage talking about the system contributors table, and he made the statement, "Query ClickHouse for my name." The vision was simple. One day, we'll be in an interview, and that interviewer will ask the most ridiculous question that always comes up: have you built something that I know? And the answer is, query ClickHouse for my name. Every release, every new contributor is added to the system.contributors table. We keep a record of those who have contributed to the mosaic that we are creating together. Credit ships in the product. As of last night, there are 2,632 names. It's a select count from the system contributors table on the build that you can pull off of master right now. It's not a rounded badge from a social graph. It's not an arbitrary metric of appreciation via a star. It is people making changes. Whether that is the lowest level of feature or if it's the most important typo in a documentation that can take you out of the ability to actually complete your work because you are so annoyed by it, which is what happens to me all of the time. This list is large, but it's finite. And that's why it lands with weight for us. These are names that matter. These are not representations of a company. It looks like this. This is ClickHouse Local. If you've not used ClickHouse before, ClickHouse is a single binary. You can download it extraordinarily simply. Just curl clickhouse.com, pipe it to a shell. You'll get what you need. And then go to ClickHouse Local. Select star from system contributors. Limit it to 5. Type in clear to clear your REPL. Do it again. You'll see different names each time. This is actually a thing that I do. And maybe it's because I'm crazy, or maybe it's because it's part of my job. I want to know, what did Shuyang contribute? I want to know, what did Artem contribute? I want to know that this is completely inscrutable, and these are all of the new contributors since the last time we stood on a stage here in San Francisco. This is how this happens. I just run Docker. I point it to a specific tag. I select star from system contributors. I pipe that to a text file. Then I use ClickHouse Local, and I string parse the two different text files, and I get the delta between the two of them. This is not fake. This is a thing that you can do now. It's a thing that we do every month in our release blog when we thank our new contributors. ClickHouse reads ClickHouse. My encouragement for you is to find your name. Find your fit. Find your contribution. Is it lead that holds a project together? Is it the infrastructure plumbing that you see from outside of the nave where light bleeds around the edges, but the connectivity shows? Or do you stand inside of the building, see the light streaming through, a la what MSK is doing, and be delighted by what is being created? Contributors matter. Some contributors are champions. My chart showed motion. The contributor table shows name that ship. The query pointed back to myself, to Alexei, to some of you here in the room. Now, I'm super excited to introduce you to my friend and colleague, Zoe, who's going to talk more about champions. Zoe?
Trade. Yeah, so Tyler has talked a lot here about kind of what makes a champion, and this is a very specific type too, because champions obviously are contributors who drive ClickHouse. And to be clear, champions is not a new concept for us or for anyone else. Most people understand what that word entails and what it means, but let's kind of dive in a little bit. Because obviously, ClickHouse has always had champions. Let's be clear here. We might have not defined this before, but you know. Like, we've all known internally that we have lots of champions at many different stages of the company, at many different points in where they are with ClickHouse. Maybe they're new learners. Maybe they're people who will never per se touch the code base, but they use it in their day-to-day life. It's a very big span, and that's really important too, because they are teachers, they're writers, they're advocates. There are people who you meet in person who you will never meet in person. There are people who, make these tickets and issues on GitHub that you see, but there are also people who will never look at GitHub, but who are still wonderful champions and who deeply, deeply care about ClickHouse, just as much as, the people who have joined the company do and beyond. And they are obviously very big contributors to making ClickHouse a fantastic community. I've always told people that. People sometimes ask me as a developer advocate, what's the secret? Like, why is ClickHouse such a nice community? And I'm like, well, it helps that we don't tolerate nonsense in a way. We're very you can ask Alexei about this. He's very, interested in people who care about ClickHouse and don't want to, cause drama or problems, which helps for sure. But it's also the fact that we just have awesome and amazing champions as well. It definitely is contributing. And champions are a part of our wider community. Obviously, the community, not every community member is a champion and vice versa, but in general, champions are people who are champion ClickHouse. Maybe that's within their company, within their students, within, the lives of people who they touch and talk about ClickHouse with. And that's why we are super excited to be rolling this out. We already have our first original batch of about 250 champions, because again, this has always been a thing. We've always had them. It's just that now they're getting more officially recognized. So if you want to join the ClickHouse Community Champions program, you get invites to events like this. If also, just in case you've ever gone to an event, for the most part in America, with ClickHouse, you've probably interacted with me, and I've helped you possibly speak in front of a stage or given you a platform to talk about your use case and hopefully get some career visibility within the ClickHouse ecosystem. We have lots of people who have become champions who have then, gotten good jobs from that. They've been able to show, look at all the ways I've used ClickHouse. I can contribute to your company. So we want this to be a good relationship that helps you as well. Community recognition, and obviously exclusive swag. That's what we're all here for, right? I hope everyone really enjoyed the jacket that they got. And if you are here today and you are already a ClickHouse champion, please come find me on the 4th floor. I have at the help desk, the one that you see when you make the right-hand corner out the elevator. I will be there with a little swag bag for our champions in particular for today. So we wanted to, give you guys all a gift for coming and joining us today. And yeah, thank you so much.